Hi, welcome to Everything with Sophie, where I try everything in terms of crafting and gardening, and today we're talking about knitting and spinning. I'm starting off this episode a little bit annoyed because I already recorded this once at half speed. I don't know how I managed, and I'm hoping I'm not doing the same again, but when I tried to rewatch the video on my computer, it was very slow and with no sound, so I'm hoping that we'll do better now. So today, in my first knitting episode, I guess, I wanted to talk about my knitting works in progress, and then my spinning works in progress as well, because there's a few of them too. So you'll have to excuse me because I'm gonna say a lot. It's a really bad habit that I have, and I'm trying to get rid of it, but it's really hard when it's a habit that you didn't know you had until you started filming yourself. Anyway, yeah, there I go again. Starting off, I'm knitting this cabled pullover. It's the laboratory pullover, and I'm knitting it for my brother. A long promised sweater for him. I've only got one sleeve and a neckband to go, and then obviously to wash and block it. It's got a few cat hairs in it, so I don't want to send them along to him. But yeah, it's really cute. I really like the look of it. It's been in my Ravelry queue for a long time. And for somebody who's never knit proper cables before, apart from maybe in a hat, this is a really nice, easy pattern to start with, because it repeats and repeats and repeats, and it never really gets more complicated than crossing two stitches over another two. So yeah, I've really enjoyed knitting this, especially because the result is so neat and sort of crisp. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. And the yarn I'm using is this DK, Essential DK from West Yorkshire Spinners. It is 75 wool and 25% nylon. I actually think this line has been discontinued, so I'm glad I had enough of it to do the whole sweater, otherwise I would have been down an eBay rabbit hole trying to find more. So yeah, but it's this lovely blue colour, it feels nice, and because I don't really trust my wee brother to hand wash his sweater, I think it's good that it's something that can go in the washing machine if it gets dirty. But yeah, I'm hoping to have that done before the end of June. Yeah, I think that's doable for a sleeve and a neckband. And once I'm done with that, I've got another thing that's on a little bit of a deadline as well. I'm knitting myself this Oh My Figure dress, and I need it done by the second to last week of October because I'm going to wear it to my graduation. I've just finished a bachelor's degree in art history. It's my second degree, my first one in more than 20 years, and originally when I finished uni I was so burnt out that I didn't really want to make a big thing of it. I just wanted to be rid of it, so I didn't attend a ceremony, I didn't do anything. I just sort of dropped it and didn't want to know about it. Whereas this time I'm feeling really good. I'm really proud of the work that I've done. and I want to make something nice. So I'm knitting this dress. I've started. It looks really tiny because the ribbing is so scrunched up, but I've tried it on. It fits, it goes over my head, and it's in my top favourite purple colour. It's this really lovely kind of dark purple, and the yarn I'm using is Drops Kid Silk Mohair, held together with something I've had in my stash for years that I also don't think exists anymore. It's this Ice Yarns, and it is Arctic Merino, and it's a single merino in a kind of light fingering weight. It's got a tiny sparkle to it, so I think it might have some stellina or something in there, but it goes so well with this Drops Kid Silk, and I'm so happy with it. It's turning out really, really nice and soft, and yeah, I'm knitting the long version of the dress, and I'm gonna make it long sleeved because it will be October in Scotland, and who knows what the weather's gonna do, or how cold it's gonna be, so I'm not taking any chances with knitting like a summer version. I can do that a different time. So those are the two sort of projects that are on a deadline, and then we have some background things going on as well. I've started, I think this is the back panel that I've started. It could be the front panel, I think they're pretty much the same, of the Ginkgo Fight top, which is in Pom Pom magazine, and it's patterned by Emily Green. Hopefully you can see that. It's really lovely. I've had this issue for a long time, and I bought it in that pattern. And again, I'm holding double with some Kid Silk, or whatever it is. Yeah, Kid Silk mohair type thing in this lovely light sort of mossy green colour, and I'm holding it double with silk and merino hand spun, that it's a 3-ply and it's kind of lace weight, so it's a little too light to use on its own, but held together it goes really well, and I meet gauge and things with it, and it's quite lovely. It's got this sort of mossy green colour. It's got a few bits of purples in there, along with this sort of bits of brighter sort of coppery colour. I really like it, and I'm really happy with the spin, so I'm always happy to use things that I've spun the yarn myself. It feels extra special. So that's a kind of a background project, doesn't have a deadline. And then my final, I don't even know if I can call it a work in progress because I've not started it yet. It is the Mystery Knit Along, hosted by Dye Candy, who's a yarn dyer, indie dyer from Northern Ireland. And the theme, she's created a pattern, it's a shawl in the theme Elder Emo, and that spoke to me. I picked some colours, match my hair. I think they're fun. They're all hand spun, so it's this lovely kind of, I don't know, moody blue for the dark colour, and then for the light colour got almost a kind of mermaid. It's difficult to get the colour right, but it's a kind of mermaidy colour with like light blues and kind of lavender purples and a little bit of pink in there. and then a more saturated version of that colour, I guess. And I think they go together. They'll be a fun shawl once they're knit up, I think. So yeah, that's currently on clue 3 of 6 that have been released, I think, and obviously I've not started yet, so I'm very behind. So I'm gonna finish the blue sweater, the laboratory pullover, and then I'm gonna start this because I'm really excited. It looks really fun. I've peeked at all the clues and it looks brilliant. So yeah, and I think that's all the knitting things that I'm doing at the moment. But I do have some spinning projects in the works as well. This is quite exciting actually. It's my first ever 4-ply yarn that I've spun, and it is a light fingering weight, which is kind of crazy, I guess, but I really love it. It's a blend of, so it's 2 strands of merino silk and 2 strands of grey Blueface Leicester. That's the name. And it's really soft. It's got a lovely halo to it, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like once it's washed and dried, because it's quite sort of flat, if you will. Right now I'm hoping it will plump up a little bit, and yeah, I'll have, I think, 350, maybe 380 grams of this, so it's quite a substantial amount that can become something nice, I'm hoping. And speaking of spinning, a couple of years ago I bought 2 raw fleeces, like really raw. They were dirty and they hadn't been scoured or skirted or anything, so they were full of grass and hay and sheep's poo and nasties, but it was my aim to wash it and process it and everything, and it was 2 Ryland fleeces, one white and one in this lovely oatmeal colour, which is now finished. It's done, and it's turned into this lovely, really squishy yarn, a 3-ply that's waiting to be knit into something beautiful. However, I am not nearly done with the white. This is what I've processed so far. I've done it in 2 ways. So we've got little rolags, really light, that are ready to spin, and I've also, and this was actually my favourite way of doing it, little hand combed bundles, and when they're obviously opened up, it's this sort of quite thin roving that's really easy to spin, and so I'm gonna do that with the rest of the fleece, and there is quite a lot. I've got a massive paper bag of wool that's been washed but not combed, and I've got even more that's not been washed yet, so I've got my work cut out for me. And yeah, it is quite a lot of work, but I have really enjoyed what I've done so far, and I'm really pleased with the results. I don't know if anybody's interested, but these are the hand combs that I've been using to process the wool. Sorry about the noise. They're super sharp, but really effective. I didn't think they would be. I initially started hand carding the wool because Ryland wool doesn't have that long of a staple length. Like that's the length of the individual hairs. It's just 2 or 3 inches maybe, and I didn't think that would work really well with combing, which is more appropriate for longer wools like Shetland and Blueface Leicester and that sort of thing. But it's worked really well and produced a really nice smooth result in the final spin. So I'm really pleased that I got these, even though I didn't think they were going to work. And yeah, they're fun. They're 3D printed rather than your sort of traditional wooden ones, which are much more expensive. So a nice little purchase that I've used a lot, and will use a lot. So that's everything that I'm working on at the moment. Quite a lot, quite a few deadlines, but I've got a lot of free time during the summer because I work in education, so it's a little bit quieter, and I have time to work more on my hobbies and make silly videos like this. So yeah, let me know what you think. What are you working on? And I also wanted to see if you had any opinions about next time's topic. I don't think there'll be a video as soon as a week from now. But I wanted to talk a little bit about destashing or no buy almost, or low buy, using what you have, which is something that I've been trying really hard to do because I've come out of a period of a few years where it's just been like buying things without purpose, without knowing what I was going to do with it, and just buying skeins of yarn here and there, and buying spinning wool because it was pretty, or because, you know, just because, like you do often. And it turned into quite a disorganised yarn stash that didn't have a purpose. It's not that useful because there's so many different things in there that you can't really put together bigger projects cohesively with it. So I'm trying to now see if I can use what I have in an effort to almost start over and start buying more purposefully and more frugally. But anyway, we'll talk more about that next time because I find it really interesting. I really love to watch videos of what other people are doing in this situation and how they're going about it. So if you have anything you want to talk about, just let me know in the comments. I would love it if you liked and followed me on YouTube. That would be amazing. And yeah, see you next time.